Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Admiral Cooper, is Iran militarily still able to inflict significant damage on infrastructure of the surrounding countries in the Persian Gulf?
Senator, in this environment, what I would tell you is their capabilities have been dramatically degraded. That certainly doesn't mean that they don't have anything left, but the large-scale volleys that we've seen over the last couple of years, Iran is no longer capable of executing those.
This would be less large-scale volleys than directed attacks on critical infrastructure, which would set back petroleum production, even if the Strait of or petroleum distribution, would say, even if the Strait of Hormuz is open. Does that capability still exist?
Capabilities across the board inside Iran still exist at a degraded scale. We've also planned accordingly for each of these scenarios, if necessary, to deal with them from a defensive perspective.
So would you characterize Iran as no longer a threat?
Iran has a significantly degraded threat, and they no longer threaten regional partners or the United States in ways that they were able to do before. Across every domain, they've been significantly degraded.
But they can still threaten their partners.
It's a very large country. They retain some mineral capability. That's correct, and that's accurate.
Thank
you,
sir.
Of course, we've accounted for that from a defensive perspective.
General Anderson, what's happened is that the administration recalled over 30 career ambassadors in Africa, over 30 career ambassadors overall, 12 in Africa. The United States has only 14 confirmed ambassadors. In other words, 40 ambassadorial posts in Africa are vacant or filled by charge d'affaires. Is it essential to your work to have fully functioning embassies with ambassadors?
Senator, we work very closely with all the embassies across the continent to pursue and further American interests. And so that relationship with these embassies is critical for AFRICOM's effective engagement.
But what about the ambassadors?
Yes, sir. So the ambassadors do enjoy access. I think that that's important to have ambassadors in place because the hierarchical nature of many of the African countries is that if you're not an ambassador, you don't always get access. And so there is obviously benefit to that. And we coordinate with them quite closely when we engage.
Thank you very much, sir. You are combating one of the most sophisticated information warfare operations we've seen in a long time from Russia. What can we do to improve your ability to withstand this information operation and also to engage in something on the same level by the United States?
Yes, Senator, I appreciate the recognition of this concern because our adversaries are very active in the information domain. As you highlighted Russia, I'd also say China is also very active in these domains. They use this to undercut not only our interest, but undercut and disrupt the democracies that are in Africa. And this is an area that I've talked to several of the leaders across, especially coastal West Africa, that are very concerned about the Russian propaganda that is destabilizing their democracies. For me, we have a limited budget that we are mostly in a reactive mode to respond to issues. What would be beneficial as one of the few entities that looks across the entirety of the continent is a consistent budget that would allow us to campaign in the information space. We coordinate very closely with State Department and others on this and work with the embassies, but our ability to look across the continent and highlight these things, I think, is an area where we could be of benefit to the American interest.
Thank you, sir. Admiral Cooper, one more question. Do we still maintain a relationship with the Syrian Democratic Forces?
Senator, we do have a nascent relationship with them in the context of evacuating the more than 5,700 ISIS prisoners from predominantly northeast Syria to Iraq. A small number of prisoners, mostly chronically ill and with multiple amputees, stayed in the primary prison known as Hasaka, and SDF is today serving as the guards.
Just a follow-on question. Do you detect any sort of kind of resentment or to our rapid departure from SCS?
I think, Senator, we've had a long standing relationship with the SDF. the ceasefire that they have in place today with the Syrian government remains in effect, and we remain engaged.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.